Welcome back to a new video. I don't think I really sound too weird, but if I do, it is because all of the illness I kind of had over the last weekend, all of my sinuses are starting to kind of drain, which is more so an issue when I have to talk louder. Not so much right now, at least currently. I am starting to feel not the best right now, which is interesting, but I also not really sure what that's about. So the illness has kind of been sticking around, but you'll see throughout these sessions, like the training has been good for the most part, even though there's been various hiccups. But you'll see when I'm in the shed here for when I'm squatting to essentially in the morning, and then you saw I front squatted up to 160, and then did some rack holds just to kind of stretch out my front rack and spend more time that I have, since the session goes really quick when I'm not doing a lot of volume. So it's something that I want to continue to add in. And as I was going through these sessions through the week, it's kind of just putting everything in view of what I would like a week to look like, and just kind of adjusting things. And I think that's an important thing to do, is to kind of like write a plan, but then see how that plan interacts in reality. One of the things that I already changed is today when I trained on Thursday, I didn't train in the morning. Tomorrow I'm not going to train in the morning either. And the reason to not train Thursday in the morning was that the session was going to be so light that I knew it would be fine to do in the evening. And I also wanted to sleep a little bit because my throat was kind of feeling a little funky, and certainly glad I did after the morning, because I just kind of have some phlegm that I keep coughing up, which is not fun, but thankfully I don't necessarily feel too bad. Just definitely need to make sure that I continue to get a lot of sleep, and that's something I've done well for the most part, despite getting up a little bit earlier. I've been going to bed at a good hour and getting enough sleep. I think that the sleep hasn't been as great this week as it could be, and I think that is hopefully just from the illness and the congestion and all of that, and not from actual training. And see with the morning sessions, the only one of them was like actually like really intense, and the difference of me waking up is like 30-45 minute difference. Where I guess normally I would sleep all the way into 6:30, and I get up at 5:30. So usually I set my alarm for about 6:15. So sometimes I hit snooze a bunch for that, on a normal day, waking up in the morning. So 5:30, kind of similar thing happens. I might hit snooze once or twice, but usually pretty quick out of bed. I'm not snoozing for 30 minutes or something like that. But I've been enjoying the morning sessions. It's weird because I thought they'd feel really bad, where I'd be really unmotivated to go out there. And warming up's a little bit difficult, but knowing I just have squats makes them significantly easier. The evening sessions haven't been as good. It's been interesting. Like the snatches have gone decent for the most part, but like this session with the clean and jerks, I just got smashed. Like I did 1+2s, and see I did 130, and then wasn't able to do 145. The clean, looked okay enough, but was absolutely slammed by the jerk. And I think some of this I also, after doing a couple sessions this week, sorry, my phone just fell. I was noticing that in the morning I felt even better after doing it a couple times. So I think that will happen with the afternoon sessions as well, because I kind of like squatting more frequently, even if it's lighter squats, but particularly having more front squats, and just kind of figuring out what I want them to look like in the mornings if I am doing them frequently, or at least multiple days in a row. But just like in the last video when I talked about regulating my pulls based on the clean jerks that I did, I did and didn't on this session. So I think this is probably another reason why some of the subsequent sessions didn't feel as great. But I did these 145 3x2 kind of cluster, and then I just decided to go up to 300 kilos in a deadlift because I'm a buffoon. It's really not something I need to do. And that's one of the things I kind of realized I need to strategically allow myself a time to where if I want to, I can. So the day that I would do a heavy clean pull or deadlift or whatever should be tomorrow on Friday, if I so desired, because then I have essentially all Saturday to recover, and then Saturday or Sunday would be block work from the snatches and whatnot. So I kind of have 2 days to recover before I'm into the next week of training. But I really just don't need that heavy of pulls. Like there, that's fine. That was 200. And I think this was like 260. Like that should really be where I stopped. But took off the shoes and honestly didn't move too bad. But you can see like it's a heavy deadlift. So there's definitely some fatigue with that. And I think that along with the cold I'm trying to get through probably wasn't the most intelligent thing for me to do. But I would say I'm going to learn, but I probably will make a similar mistake. But I kind of just need to give myself that day where if I'm going to do it, it's going to be, that Friday or whatever, to have the least consequences for other sessions that are important. But strangely enough, the next day was when I did my most volume in the back squat. So here are just some overhead presses. Did a quadruple attempt with 90, was able to do 3. I feel like these, I'm not sure if I did 80 or 70 of these. I guess we'll see when it bounces down. But did multiple sets here. And I've also haven't been as good about doing accessory work in general. So I think that's something I need to get a little bit better at, particularly when I'm at the gym, just to make sure I'm doing some bodybuilding stuff while I'm there. So just 70 kilos with those. But that's something, that's a pretty easy thing to adjust and won't really be of too much consequence adding that in as far as recovery and stuff. It just will aid in the progress. I think it will just be a good thing for me to do. But this next morning after I do these presses is when I did 10 sets of 3 in the back squat. The original plan was just to do the 3x3 like I did on the first day at that 170 again. I also had an idea the previous night to potentially do a 3 sets of 10 at 150. Just kind of like I want to do volume. I want one of these days in the morning to be a harder squat day. And what was really interesting is that the 170s, I don't think they moved fantastic. Like I wasn't just blowing through them, but they were moving well enough where it gave me the confidence to keep doing the triples. And I think for me, I think not even like just a morning thing. I think I need to do lower rep sets. Doing 10 sets of 3 is going to be better for me because I can really push the speed on them, or at least think about the speed a lot more than trying to go through the set, trying to do a set of 10 or a set of 8 or whatever. I think through my last couple months of training, I've kind of established I'm pretty good at doing high rep sets when I do them a lot, but it's not necessarily going to have the biggest carryover when I'm kind of just a slow lifter. But the goal is obviously still to adhere to the principle of doing volume. So, 3 sets of 10 or 10 sets of 3 will end up being the same amount of reps. But for me, it doesn't even necessarily mean that I want to push the weight more than I would do for a 3 set of 10. Sets of 10 at 170 for 3 sets would be pretty aggressive, so you can push a little bit more. But for me, it's trying to do them as fast as possible. And in the morning, that's not as easy to do. But thankfully, this week wasn't hyper cold in the morning. It was certainly cold, but you can just kind of prepare for it by layering up and just going out there and just doing squats is not really hard to warm up for. It's all the snatches and clean jerks, all of that, where you are really worried about what your hands are doing or how they feel in the bar. With this, even if the bar feels cold or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But really happy I was able to do this, and I was able to do the session pretty quick. That's the other benefit of doing triples like this, where you're not doing crazy big sets, is you don't have to recover as much between them. You have obviously a lot more individual sets to do, but you don't have to rest a ton. If I was doing sets 10, obviously that would be a lot more difficult to do quickly, or probably not really possible. You just fail sets or whatever, or fail reps, and obviously not ideal. So I think I will stick to this idea of having 10 sets of 3. I don't even know necessarily if I want to push the weight up on it, other than just try to do it more than just once this week. We'll see. But after this day, I believe this was on Wednesday, Thursday, I didn't train in the morning, and then Friday will be the heavy day. Who knows, based on how I feel now, if I'll actually feel up to it or want to or be able to. But it's definitely something that I want to give myself the ability to if I'm able to. So on this Thursday, I just worked up to 90 on the snatch, and then, this is a different day. I worked up to something different. I'm trying to remember what clothes I wore. So this is Wednesday afternoon, and I believe the goal was to get snatch volume in. And snatches were weird on this day. So in my last little block, I believe I got up to doing 4 doubles with 100, which I accidentally / on purpose, because like halfway through the session I was like, I'm kind of like doing 4 doubles again. So I kind of just continued with that theme. So I worked up to 100 where I did it. I think I missed it the first time. I had a lot of weird misses. I got up to 105, and I think I made it for a single. I think that's what it was. I missed 100, doubled it, and then went up to 105, where I made it for a single, then came back, made it for a double, and then had a bunch of misses. I was also live, and partially I just started rambling about something, so I took too long, and then I think that kind of messed me up, and then I kind of just had to get the groove back. And once I got the groove back, then honestly, like, the bar was feeling good. That's when kind of the interesting thing in the afternoons is, no matter how I'm mentally feeling, the bar is still moving pretty decent. Clean jerks are definitely been a little bit harder, at least these first couple days. So that's something to pay attention to see if those really dip down. If those are really impacted. Maybe that's the snatches kind of benefit from the type of training that I'm doing now, but it might just be that clean jerks don't, or that I just need to chill out on them and do them lighter, like I did before at the beginning of blocks. So that's something I want to figure out as well. And I also want to play around with kind of Clarence Kennedy's idea of just doing the movements frequently. I think that was my miss with 100, that I came back and doubled it. It's very typical of me to miss a weight and then be able to do it for reps because I'm a buffoon, but I was kind of playing around with different things, like how I was gripping the bar and my foot width and stuff. So I think I ended up just kind of messing myself up more than helping it. And by the end, I was back in a good groove. So just kind of have to stick with that and just the basic principles of keeping the bar close and being aggressive through the finish and not just overthinking it, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to make radical changes, and the concepts that I'm working on are always going to be things that you can think about and it be beneficial, like keeping the bar close and finishing aggressive and all of that. So definitely just need to remember that. But also, there's I believe that was a double attempt that I missed there. So then here is a miss there. This is where I think things went downhill for several of the reps. I don't believe I was trying to do them for doubles. These are just the first reps I kept missing. So then I actually went down to 100, as you see here, and actually felt good. And it was weird. I kind of knew, like, when I did this double here, it's like, all right, I'm just being not focused in enough, or not I guess aggressive enough with the snatches, because once I did the second rep, I was like, all right, like, I'm actually fine. Like, there's always that fear when you do a change training up or something like that, like, oh, I'm just cooked, like I'm doing too much or anything like that. And I'm not really even doing anything different volume wise, or like even that much more or anything. It's just split up. And the only thing I suppose is different is potentially, like, there's more frequency of squatting, but it's not even if I'm doing more volume. So there's some adjustment that I'm certainly going to continue to have to make, or be able to make. And I believe I actually ended the session making 2 doubles with 105, so I was quite happy with that, to be able to do that. And you could say they're clusters or whatever, but I'm also doing them without straps, so you can bite me and fight me, but do both, because doubles are hard without straps. That is for sure. And I've never done CrossFit, so I don't have the ability to have unlimited skin to just wear off after all these reps. But that's the last, I suppose maybe if I did CrossFit for a year before I did weightlifting, maybe I'd be better at doing all those goofy complexes and catching hang cleans and all of that stuff. But I've seen that, and I've tried to do it with light hang cleans and even snatches, and I don't really understand how they do that without just ripping the skin off their hands with that. And also, that's a big luxury I have with just how strong my back is that if I am even going to do like a hang snatch double, and I'm going to do it without straps for some reason, like, I can just drop the bar and pick it back up. It's not a difficult thing for me to pick up 100 kilos or 105 kilos as far as like a back strength weight, the first and second pull or whatever. It's not really any strain to do it. So I do have that luxury, and something that will probably never go away. But on this day as well, after snatches, decided, as I mentioned with the Clarence Kennedy mindset of just doing clean jerk work, or at least doing both the lifts as frequently as you can, decided to do some push presses. And so I did this clean with 100 with straps. Apologize, the heat's kicking on. But went up to this 120, and I was really surprised with how power clean felt. It felt easy, but then I just pushed this out in front. I ended up taking it again because I felt like with how easy the clean was that I could just do a better rep. And so here, honestly, like a pretty powerful power clean for me, which was kind of surprising. And then the push press, this one, a lot better. Got into a lot, just did a better technique, or used better technique for this rep. So nothing really radical there. And then because I snatched up to 105, the snatch pulls here. I think this concept is actually something that I need to basically stick to for the most part on like all normal training days, is that if I'm going to do pulls, do them frequently, do them not a ton of volume, so 3 doubles, not a lot, but to do them at whatever weight that I snatch a clean jerk for the day, because it will kind of regulate based on what I do for that day. And just like I mentioned with the squats, kind of not worrying about pushing the weight up necessarily, but trying to really move it as fast as I can, kind of conceptually trying to do the same thing with this. So literally the same weight that I was snatching, trying to move it correctly for one, but also trying to move it fast. And so sticking with that concept will probably be a more beneficial thing for me than trying to push these up and do sets at 120 or 30 or 40 or whatever. Not that there's not necessarily a benefit from that, but at least when I'm doing these pulls more frequently, keeping them a bit lighter and focusing on the speed of them will probably be a good thing. My screen just turned off. That was weird. I thought my computer crashed, but it did not. So thankfully we're back. Just talking about pulls. Thankfully, just screen turned back. I actually don't know what that was. I thought I kicked something and turned off my computer, but no issues. So I don't know. Sometimes technology is weird, but alas, we have not lost the original file, which is good, because I don't want to re-record all that. But did these like cluster, and that's kind of the other thing with the lighter pulls, just doing them as clusters, getting them done faster, taking advantage of the fact that I can deadlift 685 pounds and doing the pulls with less rest than I would need for most other strength lifts. Also, strangely, and this isn't just the weightlifting house bar, I struggle to put straps on at the house, and it's been with the illegal bar, any bar that I've had, and I don't know what it is. It's the only time I struggle, like the straps don't go on. Let's say, not like I don't know how to put them on. Obviously, I've done it for years, but on the right side, it just doesn't go around all the time, and it will like get snagged on it. It's kind of weird, and I don't really know why, but sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know if it has to do with the temperature of the bar or something like that. If maybe the plastic of the straps or the material of the straps gets changed with the temperature. But I've never had the issue when I'm at the gym. I also have a lighter knurling bar at the gym, so I wouldn't really ever have issues with any kind of straps. But I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, that's why I was kind of struggling on some of those to get the straps. But that's the one of the only reasons I have the what's his face, Gabrielson Crane, his straps. I modified them and cut off the leather, which is funny because any videos that you see him with now, he doesn't even use his own straps that he was selling, which kind of tells you that they weren't really that good, which I kind of concurred. I like the material of them, so the material was nice, but those ones don't ever get caught on the bar, so I don't know what that is, but they're just not comfortable enough to do actual snatches with. I don't feel like I can get them super tight for those, but for pulls, it's not really that important. Just want to get them on. And so that was Wednesday morning? Thursday morning? No, Thursday was today. What am I saying? So that was Wednesday morning. So that was the front squat there. So that back squat was actually Tuesday. I don't even know if I'm saying the days right or wrong. I'm all kinds messed up. But on this day, I decided to do snatch plus hang snatch. I have not done a hang snatch in a while. Kind of just thematically something that would be beneficial, similar to like the high block snatches, just speed under the bar and just volume, and an excuse to a pretty good excuse to use straps. But I didn't want to do normal snatches without straps, and I didn't want to do snatch from the floor with straps, so kind of compromised and did something that I thought would be beneficial. Random miss with 90, I think I was just overthinking it. But then you see here the hang with 100, or I guess the regular plus the hang. The hang snatches are feeling really good, like the movement was feeling really good, which is interesting because I haven't done it for a while, but I think just because the bar path is similar as to the blocks, it makes it easier to carry over. Missed 110 the first time, but then came back and just kind of manned up and did it. And then the hang snatch actually felt really good too. Felt like I had to get really low when I caught this, when I did it in the moment, but felt like I got it in a really good position, so I was really happy with that. Then moved on to clean jerks. These are, again, weird. Like, this is where kind of like the theme I talked about before, where the clean jerks didn't kind of feel like crap. I got up to 140 and I missed a clean, which is such a weird feeling because it's so rare. I don't honestly remember the last time I missed a clean. I suppose with like a heavy clean, but like missing like a 140 clean, I actually don't remember the last time that I've missed one of those. But I wasn't feeling necessarily bad either, which is odd. Like the bar speed was feeling fine, the jerks were feeling fine. Just 140 just felt bad, and I just missed the clean. You see here with 130, and the goal was just to do, maybe I was thinking like multiple singles at 140, since 145 was such a struggle earlier in the week. 130 moved fine, wasn't great, but certainly wasn't feeling like I was cooking. Here's the infamous clean that I just randomly missed, and I just had to try harder on this next one. And I think potentially what was throwing me off, I guess from a technique standpoint, was because the bar speed wasn't as high or as fast, that I was really having to dial it in better to get under. That jerk is essentially a make. I just didn't feel like walking it backwards because I had to walk it forward there. This one was a lot better of a jerk in general. Better clean and a better jerk. Certainly not super crispy, but just based on how I felt, pretty good. And then the pulls, you see here, just doing them at 140. So just keeping with that same theme is just if I clean jerk it, or at least attempt to clean jerk with it, then that's the weight I'm going to do with pulls. And these 140s were feeling fine. After these pulls is when I do my session that I did this evening, Thursday evening, and it was a pretty easy one. This evening I went up to 140 and felt honestly like I could have, well, obviously I could do more, but it wasn't super difficult. And it was interesting because I thought I would feel worse because I sound, or at least my throat is feeling worse as far as the talking and stuff, or at least going through that for a whole school day. But moved well, and then snatches were feeling really good, even though I did front squats before I did the weightlifting stuff. Stopped at 90 just because I knew I could have probably done more. I probably could have even gone up to 110 and it been relatively fine. But I knew I want Friday to be that day, and I want Thursday to be focused on recovering as much as I possibly can for Friday and not doing too much. And the 140 front squat, I feel like it was the perfect number on that day. And then the 90 kilogram snatch was good, although good as far as the stimulus, the technique on it, you'll see was pretty bad, because I had to walk it forward a decent amount. But then the clean jerk, just doing that at 110 is just the perfect amount to where it's not going to wear me out, or there's no fatigue that's going to be built from that. But front squats are feeling a little bit better the more I do them, and I think that's partially the mobility and also just the practice of doing them more frequently. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. And also, only wanting to work up the 90, I thought about doing powers and different things like that, but I was I don't want to use straps. I just want to work up, keep it simple. I think I even threw thumb tape on to make it even easier. And you see here, just got a little lazy in the catch with it and had to walk it forward. And then just the last couple reps here was 70, and then I jumped all the way up to 110. Did that for a single, so nothing really too radical there. But really interesting week so far. Friday will be in the next video. I don't know how many training sessions will be in it, but the goal is to go heavy tomorrow in the classics, and potentially a squat and a pull of some sort. And then Saturday kind of being kind of an a la carte type day where I just pick different exercises I think will be beneficial. So things like rack jerks and stuff, and see how I'm feeling on that. And then Sunday probably do more block stuff. So see how that goes. But yeah, just a lot of training, and just didn't really have time to edit during the week, as you see a lot of clips and a longer video, but still training, and I feel like it's going pretty well. And I don't know how long I'll stick with the morning sessions, at least for parts of the week. I think it'll be good. It's a nice tool to have. So even if I don't stick with it, it's nice to know that it's possible, even when it's cold, to go out and to do stuff, just in case it ever becomes a necessity for a particular day. If I have student conferences or something, I don't have to try to work out at 9 o'clock at night. I can just go and do stuff in the morning, get that all out of the way, and then not be worrying about it for when I get home. So nice little tool to have. But anywho, also, besides that, it's nice for the morning routine. I feel a lot more alert in the morning. So I feel like I do more. I've done cardio a couple times in the morning, done stretching and reading and just other stuff in the morning, since I'm just up and really alert. So there is that benefit as well. So a couple of interesting benefits. Evening sessions, hopefully, will continue to get a little bit better as I get more acclimated to it and get over this stupid cold that I have. So who knows? Maybe if I continue to feel bad into next week when the cold goes away, then I'll know that it's a little bit too much, or I'm not able to actually maintain it. So we'll see. But got to get over the cold first before I truly know how bad I feel. But thank you. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and hope you all have a great one. Peace.